This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Squiz Kids! It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Friday, December 9. In Squiz Kids Today, contagious courage in Ukraine, TikTok in big trouble, World Cup quarterfinals kick off, and it's time for the Squizzy Awards. That's what's making news, kids style.
The lowdown.
You've heard of Ukraine, right? Of course you have. We've talked about it often on the podcast this year, and you really can't turn on a news bulletin without hearing about the war that's going on there. As Ukrainians continue to fight back against the Russian invasion of their country, they received a little bit of moral support yesterday after being named as Time magazine's Persons of the Year. So, what exactly is that? Time magazine is a respected international news magazine, and every year it names a Person of the Year, someone or something that has had a significant global impact on the year just gone. And this year's Person of the Year was Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky and the spirit of Ukraine. Now, you'll know President Zelensky from the TV news. He's the one you often see dressed in khaki. I've stuck a link to the magazine cover in today's episode notes to jog your memory. The spirit of Ukraine was described by the magazine's editors as all the Ukrainians around the world who have fought to protect their country. And according to the magazine, Zelensky's success as a wartime leader has relied on the fact that courage is contagious, which is a really nice sentiment, as well as being a nice little bit of alliteration. The magazine also recognised women in Iran as its heroes of 2022 as they continue their protests against the government there, and the K-pop band Blackpink was named Entertainer of the Year. And for a bit of Friday light relief, I've stuck a link to the Blackpink video Do-Do-Do-Do-Do, which has 1.9 billion YouTube views and counting.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in Indiana, in the United States, where TikTok is in big trouble. The state of Indiana has taken TikTok to court, alleging that the social media platform exposes children to inappropriate content. Alleging is a word you'll hear all the time in the media. It's something that someone says has happened, but which a court has yet to decide has actually happened. The lawmakers in Indiana claim TikTok purposely targets kids younger than 13 years old, which is the minimum age that you can be on the popular app, and that it exposes young kids to adult content, long before their brains are mature enough to process it. The governor of the state of Texas, also in the United States, has joined the TikTok action, banning TikTok from any government-issued devices. Both states allege, there's that word again, that through its parent company in China, the Chinese government has access to all sorts of sensitive TikTok user data. TikTok, for its part, has not commented on the allegations.
Pop Culture Corner.
If our Google searches as a nation for 2022 are anything to go by, we're a country that loves Wordle, was especially interested in the election results and events in Ukraine this year, as well as Tonga, and can't get enough of the World Cup, the Australian Open, and anything to do with the late cricketer Shane Warne. Oh, and apparently we're all really keen to know the recipe for drunken chicken. That, at least, are the conclusions we can draw from the topics that trended most on Google in Australia in the past year. The top 5 trending topics overall were Wordle, Australian Open, World Cup, Shane Warne, and Ukraine. When it came to the top 5 trending Australians, it's sport, sport, and more sport, with a little dash of politics thrown in, with Ash Barty, Nick Kyrgios, Anthony Albanese, Tanasi Kokonakis, and Dylan Olcott taking out the top 5 spots. I've stuck a link to the webpage in today's episode notes if you want to have a poke around.
Sport time.
Thank goodness it's the weekend, and many of you are already on school holidays because there's not going to be a whole lot of sleeping done this weekend as the FIFA World Cup quarterfinals kick off. First up will be Croatia and Brasilia kicking off at 1 a.m. tomorrow morning, and then a few hours later, the Netherlands will take on the team that narrowly beat the Socceroos, Argentina. If you've got the stamina and want to pull another all-nighter, Sunday morning we'll see Morocco take on Portugal at around 1 a.m, followed at 5 a.m. by the big one, France versus England. Is it okay to have popcorn at 5 in the morning? I'm going to say yeah. It's that time of year again. The end of the year is upon us, and that means it's time for the annual Squiz Kids tradition of the Squizzy Awards. This is our special look back on the year that was, in which Amanda and I give out awards for the stinkiest, funniest, weirdest, grossest and cutest news stories of the year. It's a whole lot of fun and a great reminder of what a wacky old year it's been. And that there's something in the old adage that truth is very often stranger than fiction. If you're listening on a podcast app, it should play directly after this episode. Otherwise, it's searchable anytime in your favourite app or via our website, squizkids.com.au. And don't forget, though the daily podcast wraps up at the end of next week, we'll still be punching out quality content right throughout the school holidays. A shortcut each Monday, a Squiz the World every Wednesday, and a bumper kids versus adult holiday quiz every Saturday. Because 'tis the season to be jolly. Ah, yes, my friends, we've finally arrived at the moment of truth, the moment where we reveal just how many families' Christmases are going to be made just that little bit more merry by the generosity of Squiz Kids. As you know, for the past 4 weeks, we've been asking you, our clever, generous listeners, to join us in our Build to Give Christmas charity campaign. For every Lego build you created and shared to our Instagram, the good folk of Lego agreed to give away a Lego set to a family in need this Christmas. So, just how many Lego sets did you build? Drum roll, please. And the number is 530. Wow, just wow. I am so impressed. Give yourselves a pat on the back. And you know, the thing is, it wasn't just the number of builds that Squiz Kids contributed to this campaign. The inventiveness, the creativity, the thought that went into each one was just astounding. We've shared them all on our Instagram page for anyone who wants to have a squiz, and a great big shout out to my colleague Ellen for wrangling all of that. A huge thank you to Lego for partnering with us on this campaign, and to each and every one of you that took part. You should feel really proud that your efforts have helped to make Christmas a little brighter for 530 families in need. And as promised, we have 3 prizes to give away. Now, you're all winners in my eyes, but if you keep listening after the podcast, you'll hear who the prize winners are.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. Which social media platform has been taken to court in Indiana? Yeah, that's right, it's TikTok. Question number 2. Time magazine awarded its Persons of the Year to which country and its people? Yeah, it was Ukraine. Question number 3. Which band won Time magazine's Entertainer of the Year? Yeah, it was K-pop's Blackpink.
Shout-outs.
It's December 9. Only 16 sleeps till Christmas, my friends. I'm getting tinsel-toe excited. It's also National Llama Day in the United States. How cool are llamas? And it's a Friday today, and you know what that means? Lots of birthday shout-outs for today and the coming weekend, for which we're going to need to crack out the old birthday reggae tune. Hit it! And it's a happy birthday today to Eddie from Shoal Bay, Charlie from Belangry, Sophie from Terrigal, Logan and Lila from Appin, Zara from Broken Hill, but currently travelling around Australia, and Lucy, who's listening all the way over there in Singapore. Not forgetting the Squiz Kids who are celebrating a birthday over the coming weekend. Anika and Mishika from Rostrevor, Harrison from Cannon Hill, Indy from Cronulla, Bella from Bradbury, Eliana from Paddington, Nor from Claremont Meadows, Olivia from Winston Hills, Vesna from Edensor Park, Mia from Wagga Wagga, Huey from Brighton, Tyler from Bray Park, and Mishika from Yass. And classroom shout-outs today go to all of the Year 6 students in Queensland public schools, and congratulations on graduating primary school. To the Year 6 students finishing at Treetops Montessori School in Darlington, to Class 4S and Mr. Maddock at Christian College Geelong Bellarine campus, and finally to Year 6 dugongs with Mr. Adams at Cambridge Park Public School. And a quick note on classroom shoutouts, we've only got 5 more podcasts left in the year, and over 120 classroom shoutouts and counting in the Squiz Kids mailbox queue. We're doing our very best to get through as many as we can before the podcast wraps up next week. But if we don't, please accept our apologies, and please get in touch when the school term resumes next year. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au or fill out the form on our website. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again on Monday. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent weekend. Over and out. Alright team, time to find out the winners of our Build to Give Christmas charity campaign with Lego. First up, as I said before, every single one of you that took part should feel like a winner, because you've helped out a family in need this Christmas, and that is about the best present you could ever give. But from the 530 builds that were sent in, there were some standouts, and so should the prizes. And Category 1, the award for the most builds. Highly commended goes to Scott Nuffin Adventures with 16 builds. Also highly commended, Nathaniel with 19 builds. Runner-up was Goja, Zachary and Nathaniel with 22 builds. And the winner for the most builds was Crystal and her children Chanel, James and Lily with, get this, 70 builds. Wow! Congratulations Crystal and co, there's a Super Mario Lego set heading your way. And so to prize Category 2, the Best School Award. Highly commended goes to Class 5-6 at Hopeton Primary School with their cool swimming pool. Runner-up was Bulwarra Primary School for their awesome build of Amanda and I, a pirate ship and a plane. And the winner, Livingston Primary School Year 6 for their rainbow T-Rex colourful tower and a very cool ship. Congrats Livingston Primary School, there's a copy of the Brickman's Big Book of Better Builds for your school library heading your way. And finally, the third prize category, the award for the best build. Highly commended goes to Rayanash for his very cool dragon and a video entry with an excellent Lego elevator. Also highly commended, Marsha and Zachary, with a little help from Dad, for what I can only describe as a multi-storied building of awesomeness. The runner-up in the best build category, Tim Smith, who created a pulley system for his Lego Man and a great airport scene. And finally, the winner of the best build, Simone and Aidan, for not only creating 31 builds, but showing some true creativity along the way. From dream houses to Santa's house in a bottle, to Ferris wheels, superhero villain lineups, and some pretty cool spaceships too. Congrats Simone and Aidan, there's a Super Mario Lego set heading your way too. Check out all the winners on our Instagram at SquizKids, where you'll also find galleries of all the entries. Thank you again to everyone who took part.